What up, though? I'm Cedric Sutton. This is Balance of Power. You came here to learn, so let's put it in. So, welcome everybody. If this is your first time, welcome. And if you are coming back, welcome back. Which would be weird because it's one of the first videos, but you know, maybe you're rewatching them from the back. I don't know. Okay, that sounded kind of bad, watching it from the back, but it's a relationship show, so y'all should be fine with that. Yeah. Now, I've been counseling people in relationships for decades, been teaching and training people in business for years and years in different types of businesses, and there is a rule, a set of rules actually, 3 rules to learning anything. And I realize I've taught this in the beginning of teaching everybody everything, but I haven't taught you. So, before we go any further, or if you've watched other videos and you haven't watched this and I refer to these 3 rules and you're like, what is he talking about? Bang, bang, here we are right now. So, this is the 3 rules to learning. Now, these rules are for everything, to life, period. But specifically, I'm going to be mentioning Rule 1, Rule 2, Rule 3, and you're going to need to know what the F I'm talking about. So, here we go. I was teaching and training this so many times that I just wanted to write it down, so I got it in a book. So I'm going to be reading from a book today. Alright kids, to begin, the 3 rules, just really quickly, are, and we're going to go over it in detail so you don't got to trip out, but you can start writing this down. By the way, if you're going to be taking this class, you're taking my class, write notes, or you can always come back and watch this video again. I'm not opposed to that. Ain't nothing wrong with it. So, Rule 1. Know thyself. Seems simple enough, but we will get into it. Rule 2. Know thy enemy / target. / target? Yeah, / target. Rule 3. Know thy environment. So let's get into these rules. Now each of these rules has some sections to them, which is why they're not as simple as they sound. So it'll be Rule 1, Section A, Section B, and so on. And you'll get it. So, even though this is probably going to be a quick video, you should still probably take notes and, or like I said, watch this again. Rule 1, know thyself. Section A, know what it is that you want. Nothing can be achieved or even planned for unless you first know what it is that you want to go after. So, generally, whether it's a person, a business, a job, or even just happiness, you gotta know what that is. And you're always going to be going after something because you don't have it. Most likely, you don't have what it is you want. So, you got to start off with, what is that? What do you want? Now, that seems simple enough, but many of you don't actually know that. So, I'll give an example. Let's say you're building your business and you're looking for people. Are you looking for people because you want them to be clients? Are you looking for people because you want them to be colleagues for networking? Or are you looking for people because you want them to work for you? Or you want them to be a partner or a business partner or possibly to be an employee? Even if you know that you want them to work with you, how do you want them to work with you? And so when you start to think about what it is you want, asking why and how and all of these deeper questions starts to illuminate different parts of that. So, in relationships, what are you looking for? What is it that you want? Meaning, I just want somebody. Yeah, you want somebody for what though? Are you trying to just hit and quit? Are you zone 0 with it? If you don't know what zone 0 is, that's a different kind of video. We'll talk about that in the future. But are you just trying to hit and quit? Are you wanting somebody for dating? Or you want someone for a long-term relationship? Are you trying to get married? Are you trying to get married in a traditional sense with traditional gender roles? Are you trying to get married in the sense of 50-50 split? What is it that you want? So many of you are either A, in a relationship right now, or B, you're trying to get into a relationship or trying to navigate the relationship you have in the beginning stages, but you don't even know what you want. So you can't accurately get what you want from your person if you can't tell them what it is, if you can't articulate what it is, if you don't even know you're getting stuff from them and you might not be happy. Your person might be upset with you because of that. They might be giving you things and giving you all kinds of good stuff, but you're like, I don't really want that. So you need to know what it is you want. Know thyself, part B. Know what drives you. Know what buttons in yourself to push so that you can put yourself in a positive mental state or any state that you need to be in to get the mission done. So, in business, this was basically because, let's say you want to get a client. Are you better at getting a client when you're angry? Some people are. Are you better at getting a client when you're sleepy, if you're tired, if you're for some reason you have less hang-ups when you are in that state? Or are you better at getting a client when you're happy? Are you better at getting a client when you feel confident? And that's if you know part A of what you're actually looking for. So for you, are you good in acquiring somebody when you feel confident? Are you good at acquiring somebody when you just don't give up? Some people are. It all depends. But if you know that you're good in these areas, how do you get yourself in that area? For example, if I want to be confident in a situation, if I have a playlist that makes me feel confident, I will listen to the music. So whether it's me watching an inspirational speech or listening to certain music or reading certain books or whatever state I need to be in, I need to know how to get myself in that state. Also, you need to know what pulls you out of states. So if you know I need to be confident in order to go talk to this girl, but my boy who's really annoying, he will be all up in my ear and he just drives me crazy. I can't be talking to him right before I go talk to this girl. Or let's say your mom calls you, your dad calls you, and now you're thinking about your parents. You can't go mac with somebody when you're thinking about your parents. That's just weird. So know what pulls you out of states. Know what buttons in yourself get pushed and how to push them. How do you get yourself where you need to be? Know thyself, part C. Know how you look to the audience. So, from the clothes you wear to the tone in your voice to the way you walk and stand and shake hands, know how you come off and how you're perceived by the people you are talking to. This is important. Now, weirdly, a lot of this relates to acting and or, like I said, business, sales, things like that. You gotta know how is it that you sound, how is it that you look. But this is in particular with how you naturally look and sound. I cannot tell you how many clients have no idea that they're a man, or they have no idea that they're a woman. What do I mean by that? I'm not talking about they're just confused about their identity. I mean, they will do certain things and they're wondering why they're not successful. Like a dude standing way too close to a woman, and I'm like, yo, of course she got afraid because you stood all close like this, and she's a woman and you're a man, and you're kind of towering over her and you make her feel uncomfortable. Or if you're a woman and you want to command authority and you find yourself yelling to try to get attention, but then you wonder why people are like, why are you always yelling? You loud talking. Because there are different ways you can gain attention and exude authority that doesn't have to do with being loud, but you're trying to overcompensate because you feel that no one's paying attention to you. Use your natural gifts of being a woman in order to get what you want. So you might not understand who you are, how the audience is perceiving you, how your tone, the way you stand, everything I said. Because especially between men talking to other men, as you already know, your physicality is damn near everything. How you talk to another dude, how close you stand, how you shake hands, how do you stand at a urinal? You know you gotta leave the one urinal space in between because you understand that physicality, because otherwise it would look weird to you if you did it any other way. So start thinking about that in everything you do. Don't just walk through life on autopilot. Understand what you look like from the other side. So there's different ways we can go through on how to get that perspective. How do you watch yourself? But that's a video for another time. But the point is, you need to know this. And so many people do not. So many people don't even think about it. Because again, you're on autopilot. So, bang, bang. That was all just rule 1. Rule 2. Know thy enemy/target. Sometimes it's an enemy you need to take out. Sometimes it's a target you need to acquire. But the same rules basically apply. So rule 2, part A. Know why they are your enemy or your target. What do you want them for? You can't decide how far you are willing to go to destroy your enemy or capture your target unless you know the gravity of what they did or who they are to you. So basically, how do you know how far to go? How do you know what you're willing to do or what you're not willing to do? And I talked about a little bit in the whole know yourself, rule 1, but this is more about the other person. Yeah, you might know that you want them for a long-time girlfriend, but why? What is it about them that makes them someone who you want that bad? Do they fit a criteria? Do they remind you of someone who you used to be with before? Is it that you had a dream and a vision? Are you like, what is it that makes them that person? Because you won't know how far you're willing to go, like I already read, unless you know that gravity. Why is it important? Because this is the kicker. You get to decide after you find out the why, is that a why you want to stick with? You don't have to be conformed to your original feelings just because you have that, oh, he's looks like my childhood friend and now I want him for a long-term boyfriend. But then you get to decide when you find out that deeper why, is that a why good enough? Is that a good enough reason to try to make this for your long-time boyfriend when you don't know anything about him? So start to delve into who he is as a person. Know thy enemy/target, part B. Know what drives them. Anticipate, in general, what the needs of the enemy/target are. So, this is a generalization, but this is where you start to ask questions, ascertain what drives them. The same thing you did with yourself. What music makes them go up? What music makes them go down? What music makes them move faster? What music makes them slower? When they get sad, do they watch a comedy to lift up their spirits? When they want to drive fast, do they listen to rock and roll? What is it that makes them tick? Understanding that. You can't really move forward in business, especially if you're trying to take somebody out or capture somebody, let alone in a relationship. Now, some of this has to do with acquisition of getting them, but it's also about retention, because as we know, or you should know if you watch enough of my videos, acquisition is elementary, retention is hard. So, help yourself with the retention and know who your people are. Know what drives them. Every single thing that you know about yourself, which you should have explored, find out about them. Half the reason why people get into issues and problems is because you're not speaking to each other in each other's languages. You're not understanding the perspective from the other person. So if you know yourself and you know them, that's going to help bridge that gap so much. Know that enemy/target, part C. Pay attention to what they're doing. Are they shopping or in a rush? Do they open up after you give them a friendly smile? Read the enemy/target's mood and situation that they're in so that you can approach in a way that doesn't make them feel like you're annoying them by slowing them down, or that you're not blocking them or keeping them from their goal. So, basically, if you're trying to talk to a girl, if you're trying to talk to a dude, what is it that they're currently after, and how can you fit into that situation? If you're already in a relationship, this is going to be something like when your person comes home. Are they currently upset? Are they currently happy? Gauge their current mood. Because if you're wanting something from them, and again, most likely you are, even if it's just like you want to hug, you want to kiss, you want to talk, you want to see how their day went, you want to share stories about your great news or what have you, start paying attention to how their actions will tell you a lot, even if their words don't. Are they grumbling? Do they have their head down? Are they like, are they mad? Do they seem like eyes bright and happy? Understand those things. Again, this is not all about acquisition of a person, because a lot of Balance of Power, this show, you should be in a relationship. This is really for relationship people. But I understand you might be watching this and you ain't got nobody, which is unfortunately a lot of people right now. But point is that these rules are general and we will be referring to them a lot later. So they're all important. So rule 3, know thy environment. Now, rule 3, part A. Camouflage? You should have the clothes and accessories of the location that you are at. It makes no sense to try to acquire someone in a gym while you're wearing a suit. Unless the suit gives you some kind of an edge, like they think that you own the gym, but we don't teach lie around here. So if that's not the case, don't be wearing no suit, no gym. It's just weird. You need to feel comfortable in the environment, and the enemy/target needs to feel at ease. The more comfortable you both can move through the environment, the better the chances of success. Know thy environment, part B. Choose the pace. Certain environments call for certain speeds. Catching an enemy/target in a drive-through window is a different pace than spending hours at a library. The wrong pace can throw off the whole mission. I'm thinking of a time when I wrote this, I had just recently got a number of a girl, of a lady, in a drive-through window. Had about like a minute and 30 seconds that she's handing me my food, and the speed at which you speak, your tone, your present, like everything about you needs to be on point, immediate. So if I talked slow, that would have annoyed her. And you can't talk way too fast as if it's like she's running. It's got to be accurate for the situation. And I gave the example of the library because if you're sitting around for hours, or even if it's not the library, let's say it's somebody you work with, which some people don't believe in that, but hey, it might happen. I can't act like I haven't done it. So let's say it's somebody you work with, you have the time to cultivate a relationship, so you talking all fast and try to move quick to get something happening, it's just going to make you look spastic and weird. Don't do that. So make sure you match your pace to the environment that you're in. Especially if you're talking all fast and loud and you're in a library, people are going to be like, what the? Get this dude out of here. What? I'm trying to read. Know that environment, part C. Understand obstacles. Are they at a park with their children and distracted by the playing kids? Is it a crowded bar? Or is it a place where it's hard to hear each other speak? Take these things into account when choosing your hunting grounds and adapt accordingly. Are you going to be trying to talk to somebody in a crowded bar? Now, there are some situations in which that could be advantageous. You can lean in close and whisper, and you're getting that closeness to them. Let's say you're dating right now and you're like, I want to get closer to this person and I don't know how to do that. Choosing that environment could be to your advantage. If they do have kids, choosing an environment where they bring their kids, you're dating somebody who's like a single parent, single mom, single dad, yeah, they're not going to be paying attention to you. Your ass ain't important at that moment. They're trying to make sure little Timmy and little Susie don't stab each other with the rock and the stick that they found that they're playing with. You need to make sure that you're choosing something that is beneficial to whatever you're trying to do. So if you're wanting a family play date because you want to nurture that, just understand that in that moment you're not gonna be the priority for that person if they got kids. But then your goal should be something else. Your goal should be, let's play with these kids and get that relationship going so that then your person can see you with their kids. But again, it's all about the environment in which you choose, so understand obstacles. Kids, as great as they are, can be an obstacle when you're trying to get certain things done. Know what I mean? Know thy surroundings, part D. Can't forget about the D. Bring the right tool for the job. If you're in a coffee shop, buy coffee, tea, or muffin. Bring a book. You'll be there for a while. The tools will help you pass the time and make your presence at the location more legit and less suspicious. You will look weird being in a coffee shop with no work to do, no coffee to drink, nothing popping. Now, let's say that's the case. You met a girl or a guy at a coffee shop and you're trying to talk to them and you're trying to, make things happen. Let's say they work there or they go there frequently. You can't show up without something. You're going to look weird as hell. You're going to look like a creeper, as the kids say nowadays. So, if you don't have anything with you, what are you doing? Not only is it better so that you don't look weird, it also helps you to not be focused 1,000% on that person. You can't focus 1,000% on that person and really be successful. Oftentimes, you're better when you're more aloof, when you're more focused on, at least in some way, slightly, something else other than them. Acquiring that person shouldn't be your 100% goal, even if it's your 100% goal. You often cannot reach it when it comes to people. If you're talking jobs, if you're talking inanimate objects, that's different. But when it comes to getting a person, weirdly, if you give them 1,000% attention, you won't get the desired result. Often, very often. It does not work that way. People will feel the desperation off of you. They will feel weirdly taken aback that the only reason why you're there, the dedication of your life, is them. If you're just like, yeah, I'm here to watch you pour coffee because you're the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. Like, later, maybe, when you're in a relationship and that might work, but if you're in the acquisition phase, don't do that. Nah, don't do that. So, if you're talking about being in a relationship and you're already together, it's the same kind of thing but for a different reason. You can't be boring. So you can't be at a coffee shop and not do something. Like, let's say your girl goes to the coffee shop all the time and you're like, I want to start going with you. Bring a book. Do something. Because even in that relationship setting, if you're doing nothing but sitting there with your arms folded looking at her, she's going to be annoyed that, again, your 1,000% interest is just on her. She's going to be like, why did you come? Why did you roll up if you have nothing to, like, what are you doing here? Bring a book, bring some work, bring a laptop. What the? Think about that. So, that's pretty much it. This is more of a reference video just to get your mind right in terms of this rule being used. I will quote Rule 1, Rule 2, Rule 3. I'm not really going to break it down to part A, B, and C and all that good stuff when I'm talking in other videos, but I will be saying, yo, remember Rule 1, and I'm not really going to go into depth. This is the in-depth video about Rule 1. Now, sometimes I will go in depth about part A if it's specific to that video, but hey, even then, you should still know these rules. These are all important. Now, many of these rules, we're talking about acquisition, knowing yourself, knowing your enemy/target, knowing your environment. A lot of it had to do with acquisition. It will be related to retention. Acquisition is the first part, but that's not everything, because acquisition is elementary. Retention is hard. Now, the class is mostly free, but pay the fee with a thumb. Up or down, let a brother know if you love it or hate it, alright? So, until next time, deuce deuce. Now you know you want to learn some more, so go ahead and click on another video. Get that learning in.